No, it's all best of threes. Okay, good. All best of threes except the qualifying matches. That makes a lot of sense. Let's hop in. This might work. Oh, look at that, it works. Easy peasy. Our first map of this bracket. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Jagannatha, representing XCOM Ago. It is Elazer. Oh, look at that sick bird, dude. I'm all about the birds here. That emote, it's not for the birds. Or I guess that picture. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner, representing not only Ting, but America. And all Americans everywhere. It is our Red Protoss Neeb. And I'm glad we're now 2 days in a row covering the most American players. Yesterday, we covered 2 M Canning series. Today, we've got at least 1 Neeb series. Perhaps we'll follow Neeb through the winners or the losers bracket. Either way, I'm always happy to cast some Neeb. Things looking pretty standard to start things off. Neeb going for the block of the natural hatchery, forcing Elazer to take the third. Elazer's got his spawning pool coming up. Gas is taken. Neeb's expanding back at home. Easy stuff. Now, I don't know what kind of PvZ Neeb's been playing these days. Kind of the same for Elazer. I feel like I haven't watched a ton of them. But Elazer has posted some really great results and has looked just very strong in general these last couple of months. And it's always whenever I'm thinking, oh, Elazer hasn't been doing great, that Elazer turns into an absolute monster and just kills everybody. And that's what's been happening lately, is for the majority of 2020, I've been like, I don't know, Elazer hasn't posted the results I'd normally expect. And then just this last like month or so, he's just been dominating. He's just been doing such a great job. I don't know if he's looking like the best player in the world or anything, but he's definitely been in form lately. And it's going to be tough for Neeb to take him down. Neeb has had, I want to say, kind of a rocky year. Ups and downs for sure. Been some results that are probably kind of disappointing for him, but also we've still seen him take on some of the higher level players in head-to-heads and look very, very strong. So this is by no means an easy match for either player. There are some other matches going on today that you might very heavily favor one or the other player. I actually think this is probably the most even match that we have to start things off. That's actually why I was really excited to cast this one. Just because there's no clear favorite here, in my opinion. Especially since we've seen a lot of Stargate play lately and how powerful that can be. As we're seeing here, Neeb starting out with just Void Ray opening. Kind of been a classic lately. Neeb's always been very, very strong with Stargate styles. That is an interestingly placed Spore Crawler here for Elazer. I mean, he knows there's a Voider out on the map. It's followed up by an Oracle, which is probably to be expected. Neeb's going to go ahead and grab a pretty quick third here. I like the positioning on these Adepts. It's a little bit different than you normally see, but I actually like it a lot. It's a lot harder to get a surround here. The Ling's got to go a little bit further. As I say that, they leave, so. Elazer going for a handful of Lings. Maybe going to try to get some damage done at the wall here or over at the third base. Void Rays kill Lings extremely slowly. Hey, look at that. They grab a probe. That means the Lings aren't back at home to defend against these Adepts, though. Which could be a bit of a problem for Elazer. He does have 2 Queens here, but the Adepts are still going to be able to get a handful of drones. I think he's got to pull the drones away. Yeah, there he goes. Still 3 drones going down very quickly. A lot of lost mining time here as the drones are just constantly running away. Oh, and the Oracle is going to come and turn on and start taking out some drones as well. 6 drones in total going down already, and still these Adepts getting damage done in the natural. That's going to be 9 drones for 2 Adepts. Absolutely worth it for Neeb to get that damage done. Really, really nice stuff. His third base in the meantime is set up. He's got some defense here. No shield battery at the natural, but he's not going to need it right now. Lair on the way for Elazer. No Roach Warren, so he's... Oh, wait, no, I lied. He's got a Roach Warren. Going for that +1 missile attacks. Has the Roach Warren. It's over at the 3rd, which feels like a slightly strange location for it, but I don't think it's going to be too impactful this game. And we'll see where he goes from here. I mean, we already have Immortals coming out of Neeb. He's got the Forge, the Twilight Council. All fairly standard stuff. We've seen a lot of this kind of Stargate opener into Immortal Charge-Lot Archon kind of compositions. Of course, he's going to have to change it based on whatever Elazer is doing. 3 more drones going down there. He's just going to try to recall these oracles out of here. 7 hit points on that one. But hey, it lives. More gateways going down. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Templar Archive sometime soon. But Neeb right now focus more on getting Immortals out, charge lots. He's got +1 on the way. There's an infestation pit for Elazer. So I was kind of wondering where he wanted to go after this. I really wouldn't be surprised if Neeb, maybe around the time he's taking a 4th base, drops extra Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Those mid-game tech switches into heavy carrier, heavy, maybe even Void Ray compositions have been very popular, and Neeb is going to be really good at it. But Elazer's moving out, and I think Neeb's seeing this queen here. Well, he does force a transfuse or 2, and he sees this move out is happening. I think it's time to pull back, because Elazer is really moving across a lot of queens, and he's got 10 swarm hosts coming out behind this. And does Neeb have enough to stop this? His Templar Archives is finished up, so he can get a few Archons out. Those are really important at defending against Locusts. Shield battery is going to be really important here. Oh, I love the stasis wards as well. Going to try to catch either roaches or ideally locusts, I think. If you can start to catch that first wave of locusts in those stasis wards, it can be absolutely massive. Fueling's going to try to hit this base, but it looks fairly well defended there. Oh, Roach Ravager. A ton of Roach Ravager getting caught here, and some beautiful force fields. Ooh, Void Ray getting very, very low. Actually goes down there to the queens. More units getting caught as well. The Locusts are going to go ahead and grab this Robo. Ooh, they dive on that Immortal, but they don't quite get it. Elazer waiting for some of these Roaches and Ravagers to come out of that stasis ward. Some more force fields going down. A few more Locusts popping up. But not a lot around here for Elazer. He's just got to fall back to the Roaches. Queen's coming off stasis on the backside. A little bit of surround here, but I think Neeb's okay with that. Oh, I wish he had a Prism so he could lift up these Archons. One of them gets taken out. Swarm Host about to come off cooldown. More Locusts can come out soon. These Biles have been hitting very well, despite not a lot of Ravagers being in this composition. More Locusts pop off. Neeb's going to pull back, but he's going to start losing some of his wall here while he's trying to avoid confrontation with these Locusts. Loses 2 of these sentries as well. Nice force fields there to buy a little bit of time. Elazer decides to pull back. The real problem here for Elazer, he's got no 4th base behind this. He's on 54 drones. He is not droned at all. He's been non-stop. He's pretty much completely all in with this, and while he is double the army supply of his opponent, when that's in Swarm Host, things can get a little bit weird. If Neeb continues to hold on and can keep growing his army, eventually he will be able to break out of this. But let's see if this next wave of Locusts can get some good damage done. High Templar morphing into Archons, and the Locusts drop right on top of the Immortals. A few of those Immortals going down, but still 3 of them standing strong in the back lines, doing lots of damage. The double Oracle as well, helping to clear those Locusts out. And I'm really worried for Elazer right now. Neeb is losing army supply, but so is Elazer. And every time those Roaches and Ravagers go down, Neeb's just having such an easier time replenishing with 20 plus more workers out there mining. If we take a look at the income graph, yeah, it's heavily in Neeb's favor these last couple of minutes. And despite the trades being, pretty close to even, Neeb still able to take pretty decent trades. More Locusts coming in. He's trying to walk backwards. He could turn on a Super Shield Battery. He does. The cooldown for that is actually very short. Piling gets taken out, but it's not the biggest deal. These Locusts really aren't getting the value that I think they need to. Well, those Biles, again, really good biles here. But Elazer, he's trying to fall back. There's nothing to fall back to, though. He doesn't have enough Ravager to take this fight. The Force Field stopped the Roach Ravager, but not the Archons. Oh, man, those Roaches trying to move up the ramp. The further these guys get pushed back, the less those Locusts are going to matter. They can try to hit the main base, but they could maybe take out a pylon or a couple of gateways. I don't think they're going to do much more than that. And any lost time like this, where they're ready to fire and they're not firing, is terrible for Elazer, who is down 30 workers at this point. The Queens are a little bit far away. They are going to transfuse those Swarm Hosts to keep them alive. But they can only do so much. A Ravager goes down. This is, again, just buying more time. This is another big warp-in round for Neeb here, whose army supply is getting bigger every time. So is the Lasers, though. Elazer is not slouching on army supply right now. And there's shield batteries, but they're kind of far back. These Archons are starting to fall. But the Immortals on the backline, once those Locusts are gone, the Immortals just fight against the Roaches. And my friends, that is not a fair fight. Super shield battery turns on, and GG gets called as Neeb just keeps on holding. Elazer trying to pressure through, but just didn't quite have enough. The Locusts weren't quite getting the damage that I think they needed to there. And Neeb goes full showtime, man, full Demour, and holds. Well, dang it. They started the game really quickly. I didn't get to set the player teams. I set Neebs, but I didn't get to set Elazer's. Too bad. Too bad. We know what team Elazer is on. That's all right. Let's get into game 2 here. We're on Pillars of Gold. Let's see if this guy in the lower left-hand corner can tie the series up. He's down 0-1. He wants to keep going in the winner's bracket. Let's see what strategy he brings to this game. For XCOM Ego, it is Elazer. Dropping a 12 pool. Oh yeah, baby. His opponent in the upper right, representing Ting, it is Neeb. I will say, that's a really nice aspect of sending out these early probes that we've seen to try to block hatcheries, is that you also get the confirmed scout on the 12 pool a little bit sooner. I guess not if the probe just sits down here. He's gonna go up to the high ground, and Neeb's gonna get a scout on this before there's any Lings in production. He can choose exactly what he wants to do. It looks like he was planning on Nexus first. Oh my god, he's gonna drop a Forge. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this at all. I mean, I feel weird about this. I guess it's a defensive Forge. This is a Forge fast expand, guys. What the hell year are we in right now? Wings of Liberty has returned. Oh my god, dude. Probe down on the low ground, trying to buy some time. Keeping these Lings here. Oh, drone gets the hatch down. Okay, this is something else, man. So Neeb's got the gateway on the way. He drops the cannon. Drops the second gateway for the full wall off. Lings are going to get here, but that cannon's almost done. I mean, it's about halfway done. Well, they're going to be able to chip away at these gateways in the meantime, but that cannon's going to finish in due time. I'm so intrigued by this. Yeah, is it going to finish, though? All right. Yeah, that'll be fine. Elazer doesn't want to commit all his Lings to this. Otherwise, he won't have enough for defense. It's a nicely positioned cannon as well. It can hit the far corner here. That's really important. Neeb not able to break in. And with the Lings right here, this is what Elazer's waiting for. If there was a cancel on this gateway. But this probe is going to get stuck outside. Oh my god. Neeb, that's kind of a ballsy play, to be honest. And I mean, 5 of those Lings will get in. It was really nice. I gotta say, I don't hate it. We'll see if he loses any probes because of it. He already lost that one in the wall. going to catch one of the lings. Nice micro on the probes. Really nice micro on the probes. Of course, back at home, Elazer is making drones. He's mining from both of his bases. Neeb's got a second base up too, though, and actually the worker count is even right now. Oh, look at that pullback of the low probe. Oh, it stays alive, dude. Neeb loves his probes, man. You know, there's some Zerg players out there that play like a Protoss player. I feel like Neeb plays Protoss like a Zerg player. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but I kind of like it. Oh no, oh no. Oh my God, he saves it again. Saves it again. 10 hit points, dude, no problem. Neeb with the cheeky little wall. First adept already across the map. Second one heading there now. Ooh, Def gonna try to grab a creep tumor. Can get it. There's a second one though, a backup. And there's not much to see. The main base, there's no gas being mined. The Vespene guys is actually down here at the natural, which could confuse Neeb actually. If you take a look, okay, he hasn't spotted it. If he were to spot this one and not see if these gases were taken, that could be a little bit problematic, but Neeb's going for the Stargate, so he should be able to get some scouting info fairly soon. But we can see, of course, that there's not much to see. Void Ray is going to be able to kill this Ovi. There's no other Overlords on the map. They're getting pulled back because the Elazer knows that there's a Void Ray coming out. And Neeb successfully Forge Fast expanded in 2020, guys. This is incredible. Looks like the Adepts went down. 3 drones getting killed. Not too bad. I did kind of like last game, though, that Neeb combined the Adepts going in with the Oracles. I feel like that was really strong. Now, we could see that as well. We could see Neeb make a couple more Adepts and try to send them across a little later, but it gets tougher as the game goes on. Of course, Ling Speed is on the way. We got the Roach Warren starting up. Lair coming up for a Elazer. And this Oracle... when you have a single Oracle, its job is kind of to scout more than anything else. And I love this. Because it's a Forge Fast expand, he's going straight into Void Rays. We really are in 2012 over here. Ooh, Oracle. Okay, Queen gets pulled away. 2 drones take the hit. The Oracle will get out of there. Not a lot of scouting info in the main. He didn't see that the lair is on the way. He didn't see there's no gases being taken yet. Of course, there are lots of gases being taken. I have a feeling Elazer's planning on going into Spire. But he doesn't know that it's double Void Ray yet. Well, it won't be too hard to figure it out, because Neeb is just rallying them to the front. He's not trying to hide it at all. Now, the question is, how many Void Rays will Neeb get out? A lot of times what we see is maybe about 6 up to 8 Void Rays come out. +1 sometimes you'll get for the Voids as well. And then just straight into a Twilight Council, Charge, Storm. Try to get all those anti-Hydra measures up. I like this run by. This is a nice run by, but the cannon there does make it a little bit more difficult. Ooh. Okay, I was going to say battery. Needs a battery. At the same time, 4 Void Rays flying into the main base. There are a few Queens here. Queens and Void Rays, kind of a weird interaction. Neeb gonna target down some drones. Oh, he's gonna lose a Void Ray though. Ooh. Nicely done by Elazer. Bit of a misplay there, perhaps, from Neeb. Not microing that Void Ray back a little earlier. Gets 6 drones, and actually Neeb is way ahead in workers. Let's take a look at that income graph again. It's been pretty back and forth, slightly in Elazer's favor for the majority of this game, but yeah, pretty back and forth. I'd call it even. Transfuse on an extractor. Guys, when was the last time you saw a transfuse on an extractor? I don't know, but Elazer really likes his gas. And he's actually going straight for infestors. That infestation pit is up here. He's got 4 of them on the way. Not going to have pathogen glands, but I do like that choice. And I have a feeling we're going to see Queens walking across the map. We could see a Nidus as well, or, you know, you could go for the classic taxi trick with the Overlords, but I don't think there's Overlord speed, so walking across the map is going to be the way that Elazer chooses to get his Queens over there. He wants to attack now. And with Fungal and Queens, Void Rays are going to have a bit of a tough time. I feel like Neeb knows this is coming. More pylons coming up. I wouldn't hate to see more shield batteries up here. He's chrono boosting that +1 for the Void Rays, as well as the +1 for his ground units. Charge is on the way, but it's very far away. Going to be a while before that's going to be helpful here. Ooh, Ling's a little bit separated from the Queens here. Nice force field. Catches a lot of those Lings. But that is not the big chunk of Elazer's army. Elazer's got a lot of stuff here. Oh my god, Microbial Shroud, guys. Let me tell you right now, Microbial Shroud with Queens and Transfuse is actually really, really strong. And Queens do a decent amount of damage to Void Rays. This attack's going to start to get weird. There's the Microbial Shroud. A lot of ground units, though, for Neeb. Oh, the Biles plus the Fungals. Super Shield Battery trying to keep these units alive, but it's got to work overtime. The Shield Battery does have energy on it, too, so... Oh, never mind, it dies, so I guess that doesn't matter. A lot of the Queens staying alive, still have Transfuse available. There's not a ton of Infestor energy left. And the Ravager count is starting to get chewed into. Not a lot of Roaches and Ravagers, but the Ling follow-up. And I don't think Neeb has enough Void Rays to really keep fighting here. And his ground units are starting to fall as well. Does he have enough to push this back? Elazer's continuing to produce a lot of Lings. He's got Roaches on the way. Drones coming off the line. Probes, excuse me. The Infestor's not really being useful. There's no more Transfuse energy on these Queens. They are still outputting some amount of DPS, but the shield batteries are completely out of energy. There's no overcharge yet. It's still on cooldown. The cannon goes down. Neeb down to his last few units. He's already lost 16 probes. The Lazer's continuing to push, but he's got to pull back. He's got to wait for those Roaches to slowly walk their way across the map. They have speed, but they're still kind of slow. And Neeb's holding on. He's got a couple of Immortals. He's going to have an Archon. Just a handful of ragtag group of units here. Elazer's starting to pull back. Oh my god, Queen's trying to walk home. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Can't be. Alright. Things have calmed down for a second here. Neeb got a second to breathe. But Elazer is still very all in. He's on 66 drones. Big fungal there. It's a really nice fungal. And oh my god, those Biles are huge. Look at how many Ravagers there are. The force fields, though, locking them in place, Biles do take a little bit to clear force fields. But man, those fungal Bile combos were massive. The Infestor's in a little bit of trouble on the left-hand side here. A few Zealots getting sent after them. Oh my god, the Transfuses to keep them alive. I love it. More Queens have made their way here. I thought the Queens were walking home. They were just waiting for reinforcements. The Cavalry has arrived. It's like the opposite of Cavalry. It doesn't move faster. It moves slower than the rest of the units. Biles going down, raining everywhere, taking out that shield battery in record time. More Archons trying to morph. There's so much here for Elazer. It just doesn't feel like Neeb's going to have enough. There's too many Queens for him to get out any Void Rays and have that be useful at all. And now it's just down to 3 Immortals. And it's just not going to be enough. More probes getting pulled off the line, but I think Elazer's going to crack him this time. Neeb, he was holding on for a long time. He made it look a lot closer than I thought it was going to, but Elazer ties the series up with another super strong push across the map. What the hell, man? Queens, Microbial Shroud, and then Fungal Bile combos. That's some abusive stuff, and I love it. Using all those spellcasters that he possibly can, every ability at his disposal at that point in the game. Really, really nicely played. That's a lot of stuff you really don't see. That's kind of why I love watching Elazer play. Is he's the kind of player that will just pull out crazy stuff, man. Wow. Calm down, dude. Calm down, buddy. Fist of Neeb when? I don't know. That kind of style has been like, you know, heavy air. Has been pretty popular lately. Neeb not going for it right now. Maybe we'll see that in a little bit. Alright, we're just waiting for Neeb to rejoin this lobby. Alright, there we go. Going to light shade for map number 3. Now this is it. Winner moves on. Let's see if the winner has an opponent yet. Nope, not yet. Looks like Cure versus Cham is still working. Zest has taken out Future 2-0. That's the only result as of yet. So let's see if we can get ourselves another one. This is going to be the final game of this series. There's a lower bracket, so don't worry. If your favorite player loses in this one, they'll be back. There's more of them to come. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Light Shade for XCOM Ego. It is Elazer. His opponent in the upper left for Ting. It is Neeb. Both players have been with their teams for quite a while at this point. And as far as I know, they are also both the only players on their respective teams. Kind of interesting. We have a more normal opening from Neeb. I still love that Neeb went Forge Fast Expand and it worked. You know, the openings were a little weird. Of course, he was up against a 12 pool that he scouted very early, and he was planning on going Nexus first. But, I don't know. I kind of love that he went Forge Fast Expand in 2020, and we got to a solid mid-game. It seems like Elazer's plan in this matchup is get to a decent mid-game, decide what your opponent is doing, and then make a bunch of units that counter everything that they're doing and attack. Game 1 was a little bit... It was really close for a long time. Game 1 was very back and forth, but it felt like Neeb already had a solid army by the time Elazer moved across the map. Game 2, Neeb's solid army was a bunch of Void Rays, and there were just too many queens. Transfuse was massive. Fungal ended up being huge, and Microbial Shroud. I know for a long time we memed on Microbial Shroud. It is unironically good, and we're seeing a lot of, especially... I don't even want to say especially. We're just seeing a lot more of it lately. I think since air units have been more common from Protosses, a lot of the Zergs were like, let's try this Microbial Shroud thing out. And I think with Queens especially, who have a lot of hit points, it's incredibly noticeable at those points where there's no splash damage or anything, so you're not trying to micro out of the Microbial Shroud. You can just sit in it. And the Protoss can't fight into it. It's almost like trying to fight into a super shield battery. Like, you're not going to do anything through it, you know? You're not really going to get much damage done. Maybe you can focus down one unit through it, but it's almost not worth taking the fight if you can avoid it with Microbial Shroud there. One thing I have seen that counters that a little bit is... we saw Neeb go into double Stargate Void Ray, going straight to High Templar after that. And I don't just mean for Archons, also trying to get those feedbacks on the Infestors. I didn't see any feedbacks in that last game, although Elazer was quite careful with those Infestors, so maybe it wouldn't have worked out too well, but we've seen a little bit of that when Infestors become a problem. Same for Queens, actually. Feedback can be quite useful against those. But fortunately for Elazer, there was a lot more there than just Queens and Infestors. So High Templar have a tough time sticking around when there's a lot of Roach Ravager Ling supporting those important units, those key units. Now Neeb's going straight for Oracle this game. He might want to try to combo these Adepts with the Oracle. I don't know if that Oracle's been spotted, but it will be seen now, and the Queens are already in position. The Oracle's got to get out of there. Adepts decide to just go home. It ain't worth it. Got the Void Ray follow-up, and then he's going straight into the Twilight Council. 3 more gateways. With this many Adepts already out, I actually think it might just be straight to Glaives. That would be a good reason not to sacrifice these Adepts. Elazer's going to try to come in and get a scout, but he's not going to see any of the important structures up here. What he will find probably fairly soon is this third base going down for Neeb. But Elazer's got to be careful not to underestimate what can come out of Neeb in the next couple of minutes here. He does have a Roach Warren coming up. He's been very fond of building a lot of units at around this time. Ooh, and the Oracle is going to go down. Ah, Neeb slowing it down right around here. Might have been its cause of death. And that does mean that these Lings are a little bit scary. A little bit scary there for Neeb. Void Ray's going to grab another Overlord. Nope, never mind. Decides not to dive for it. Overlord lives. Adepts going down. There's 4 more of them coming over. And more Adepts being made. At this point, I feel like Elazer's got to know he's up against some sort of Glaives build. You don't see this many Adepts unless Glaives is on the way. That Glaives follow-up has become more and more common. To follow up Void Ray out of the Stargate. This is something we've definitely seen. I saw Zound do it last week. And somebody else was doing it yesterday, I think. But in any case, Neeb's here. He's got a whole bunch of Adepts. He's going to spot this Nidus network right away. Handful of Lings and Roaches here, but not quite enough to take this fight, I think. And there's actually nothing in the main to stop these Adepts. The Lings get here in short order. The Adepts are kind of fine with taking that fight. At the same time, the Nidus is going down on the other side of the map. Neeb's got double Robo here at the third, but that's not going to be done in time for this Nidus. A lot of the Adepts have gone down. They're targeting down drones, but Elazer's like, we should be a little bit more worried about some of the other stuff coming this way. That Void Ray is going to go down immediately. Queen's transfusing, but the rest of the units aren't coming out of the Nidus Worm. There's not really much in here. Oh my god, the Nidus Worm micro. That's beautiful. Void Ray decides to turn on and try to target down this Nidus Worm. Not a lot of transfuses left, so the Nidus Worm can actually get targeted down here. Oh, but he doesn't quite get it, and Neeb falls back. He's got double Robo Immortal trying to be chrono boosted out. A secondary pylon is coming up so that this one can't just be targeted down. There's no Biles here. There's no Ravagers. So once those Immortals pop out, these Roaches are going to have a much tougher time. But Neeb is just going to tap out. GG. As Elazer has broken him. The Immortal's not there in time. And Elazer hard counters the Glaives Adepts by going for a lot of Roaches and a Nidus. And Queens. And Lings. And turns out that's pretty good at countering just about every unit. That's a lot of units that counters.